Hi, my name is Ruth. I'm going to be going over the contents of your pop-up art at the library, community book installation, community building village kit, building community village kit. Basically, what we're doing is making little paper houses, and we're going to assemble them all in a village that is going to be amazing. And you are going to be a contributor, hopefully. We'll review the contents of the package, and then we will go through the process of building a house. Basically, there are two approaches you can take. We'll look at both of those approaches in a few minutes. So the kit you'll be receiving looks something like this. It comes in a brown envelope. There'll be instructions inside it. Some book paper that you can use to create your houses. You don't have to use the paper provided. You may like some of it, you may not. The content varies. There's a Sharpie, a pencil, and a glue stick. This is mine, not included. And you'll need a pair of scissors for this project. And this is essentially what we're building here, a collection of little houses. Yours will be very different from this. It might be tidier, prettier, funkier, who knows. There are some little people to accompany the houses as well if you choose to make a little person. They're a little bit finicky, but they're kind of fun to make, and a village needs people. So there's a lady, I made a purse accessory for her. There's a little dog, and there's a little cat hiding the way cats do. Oh, there it is. Okay, and now let's look at the process of building. There are three basic house shapes that we'll be working with. This one is a symmetrical house shape. It's sort of an A-frame. This one is asymmetrical, and it might be a little bit trickier for the little ones. It's just getting your mind around the idea that one side's steeper than the other on the roof. And then there's this one. It's also a symmetrical house design. But those are the three designs we'll be using. All right, I'm going to show you how to make a house. They're all similar. I'm going to use this template. This is house building method 1. Really, the method for building each house is the same for all three. Oh, I did this for the last house I built. Before I cut out this template, because I'm just making one house, I'm going to glue this to the paper I've selected to use for this project. It's a recipe. It's got lots of yellow in it, which I like. So this is going to be the side that faces out. If you want to make more than one house using the template, what you can do is cut around the template, trace the template onto your colored paper. And then what I do is I pinch the two pieces of paper together, and then I just, with the template on top, make the folds so that I can see where the tabs are when I go to build my house. But because I'm making just one, I'm going to glue my template to the paper. It's just easier. It doesn't move around. And well, that's the primary advantage right there. It adds a bit of stiffness to the paper, which is good when you go to add the roof and other decorations. So when you're using a glue stick, the nice thing about it is that you can go ahead and cut right away without worrying that the glue is too wet. At least that's what I've been doing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out now. your template might look a little bit different. I think this is not the one that you've received, because it's been modified slightly since it went into circulation. There won't be parts of it cut off, hopefully. When you're cutting, the design is a little bit forgiving in that if you overcut, it doesn't really matter. Or if you cut a little bit off the line, it doesn't really matter. So if you're clumsy with the scissors, as many of us are, it doesn't really matter. The important part when you're building your house structure is to get the, see this tab, it hasn't printed fully, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to cut where the tab ought to be. Okay, and that's my house cut out. We're going to just discard the bits we're not using, clear the deck, and then you can see how to fold it. So I've discovered that I need to make the folds towards me, because if I fold away or attempt to, you can't see where the, I can't see where the fold line is to make an accurate fold. So I fold towards me while the fold line is visible. And I've actually discovered too that I prefer to fold the tabs first and then fold the lines that will create the structure of your house, the inside lines, because it's just easier to fold the tabs when the paper is wanting to lie flat on the table. Oops, I didn't cut these two tabs here. It does say cut, so let's do that. This is going to make the floor of our house. So these are now also tabs. And we're going to fold this up as well. There. So now we have there we go. So I see this design is flawed also. Hopefully I fixed that in the template we issued to you, because look, the floor extends. It doesn't really matter. It just extends a little bit too far or not far enough. But we'll fix that as we go on here. So we're ungluing the floor panel or floor tabs to the floor. You give it a little rub to make sure you get a firm connection or a solid connection. I pulled this one a little bit too far over. I'm just going to back it up a bit if I can. I want the edges to line up. And as I discovered in one of my other templates, if they don't, you just cut off the parts that don't line up. Okay, so see, this does work. But I would like to glue this on the inside of the wall panel. There is a little tab to glue to the wall panel here. So I'm just going to fold it up, fold this in. Really, it's not necessary to have that tab. I don't know why I included it, but there it is. So now we've got our house structure. I'm just going to pinch the side edges so that I get a nice sharp crease because that's going to help me when I go to put on the roof of this house. So the roof piece is here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and glue it onto this. Actually, because there are other smaller pieces on here, I'm just going to cut it out first. Which means I'll have to cut it out a second time after I've glued it to my book paper. I don't actually need to fold it right away. I'm going to use this beautiful checkered on the reverse side of this page. I think that will contrast nicely with the yellow. Okay, again, I'm going to fold towards me so I can see where the fold is. Make a nice sharp crease, and then we're going to take the roof and stick it onto the house. Yeah, let's slide it down so that we can get the sides on there nice and straight and centered. You might want to turn it towards you again to see. I've made the roof so it overlaps a little bit just because I like the way that looks. I'm going to apply some glue here. I'm just going to give it a bit of a rub to encourage it to stick. Okay, and there's my house. So far, we have a few more things we can add if you want to. So one of the things I added to the template was a shingle strip. And I'm not going to add them to this house because I like the pattern on the roof already. But I'll show you how to put it on. So for this shingle strip, what you're going to do, I think I said you need to cut out 18 of these. So you'll have one that sits across the top. And that's the only one you'll need to fold. The rest of them you'll apply just overlapping them a little bit from bottom to top. So I started at the bottom and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the last one straddles the roof. You'll want to do the flat shingles on both sides and add the cap, we call it the roof or the ridge cap, last. Okay, so that's how the shingles work. I would like to add a door and a portico to my project. For this one, I think I might just color the, nope, can't do that. Let's see, what color of paper can we use for the door? Let's use the same. Actually, there's a portico. We're going to use this lovely piece for the portico. It just fits around the door. And so, because I chose to cut it out first, I'm now going to have to glue it on and cut it out again. I'm going to place it with the long edge against here so that I don't have to cut that side. Okay, I do need to make my door now. One thing I've discovered is that it's easiest to mount the portico on the reverse side of the door. I'm going to use this chicken for my door. And instead of tracing it on, I'm just going to cut around it like this. So I have this eye of the chicken on my front door. Which might look a bit strange, but that's the way we're doing it. To the reverse side of the door, I'm going to glue these little tabs on the portico. You might have to work with your piece of paper to get it to bend into a curve, especially if you're working with a stiff paper. There we go. Then you're going to take your glue, apply it to the back of the door with the portico, and stick it on your house
See, I see now as I'm working that with pieces like this where you have two exposed sides, it might be better to trace these pieces onto paper because look, you can see the writing when you go to mount it. But you know what? You're going to discover that as you go along. And if you just make that discovery and don't like it, what you can do is take this off and just glue a piece of paper to the other side here, which is what I would do if I had time to, but I'm just showing you how this mounts on. So you can make that adjustment if you want to. So again, there are windows and doors that you can add. I would suggest tracing these onto the paper because you're going to need more than one of each. So I would just, trace them onto your paper, cut it out, and then you can use your Sharpie to decorate or draw in the lines as you go along. This little mini garden might be a cute idea. We didn't want to do to make the houses too big, but this will allow you to have a little space in which, if you want to include flowers or something decorative like that, you can do that. So I would glue this onto a floral piece if you were so lucky as to receive a floral piece. You could also use something like this. That would make a pretty little garden piece. And then you just take this piece here and glue it to the underside of your house. You'll see you have a little garden here. And you can make a patio door going out to the back if you wish. And that's how you build a house.